Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the second panel of our event today. It's a panel that is going to be absolutely focused on bridging MSCA with existing networks and ongoing initiatives in the Western Balkans. I hope you've had a good break. It was a bit shorter than originally forecasted, but as it's just the beginning, we think, or I hope, that you had time to just drink a quick tea or play around. And I can't wait to see who has found the Marie Skłodowska-Curie character in our challenge for our treasure hunt. Before we start the panel, I wanted to address a question that a lot of you had asked on chat, and that is, how is it that we can solve the issues with non-downloadable resources? The team has flagged, and they've also pasted it in the chat box, so please definitely follow the solution that they had flagged there. They did it both in the chat for this panel as well as in the previous chat. That if you encounter further issues with accessing the resources document, you need to bear in mind that your computer might be blocking this access. So what you need to do is, as you go to each and every resource, right-click on the resource and download the resource to your desktop through the link. Therefore, the PDF will be downloaded and just save it in English or in French, enregistrer le lien sur. And with this, so download it like that as a link. With this, you should be able to do that. And thank you, Kaya, for confirming that it's now working for you. So please keep us posted if you have any other issues, and follow the guidance that you have there in the screenshot in the chat. And thank you to the organizers to just keep us posted and for having helped us solve this issue so fast. Now, back to our session and the very important conversation that we are about to have. The aim in the next 45 minutes or so is to address the synergies and possible complementarities between existing regional networks and ongoing initiatives within the Western Balkans with the Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions. No matter the field, whether it's for doctoral, postdoctoral training or staff exchanges, definitely this session is aimed at also helping you think of any possible new project ideas, both within the EU as well as Western Balkans. So please take a lot of notes, I would say, and should you have any questions, please do address them in the questions tab just here in the live discussion. And don't forget to, if you're addressing the question to a specific speaker, don't forget to write the name of that speaker in the beginning of your question. If it's for all the speakers, then just write for all. Okay, we definitely look forward to hearing your views, and I'd just like to start by introducing our fantastic 5 panelists. Here with us today is Sinisa Marcic. She's Senior Expert at the Regional Cooperation Council. Hi, Sinisa. Judith Lichens, Policy Officer at the European Cooperation in Science and Technology, also known as COST. Hi. Then we have Radenka Krasmanovic-Wiffen, Chair of the Marie Curie Alumni Association, the Western Balkans chapter. Then we have Luke Ingorvaia, Strategy Officer at the EIT, the European Institute of Technology. And last and certainly not the least, Betty Konstantinovska-Dimitrovska, Research Advisor at the Enterprise Europe Network in Macedonia. Thank you all for joining us. And I know we've also been chatting before this panel. There is so much to share, so I really don't want to prolong this any longer. So I'd like to address the first question, and that is, can you please introduce yourself? What is it that you do? And also tell us a bit more about your organization and your network or your projects. I'd like to start with Sinisa, please. Sinisa, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Raluca. Thank you for inviting me as a representative of the Regional Cooperation Council. It's my pleasure to be with you today. I believe this is a very important event aimed at spreading, raising awareness about Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions here in the Western Balkans. As for the RCC, Regional Cooperation Council, we are an international organization mainly focusing on Southeast Europe, although in recent years, our main focus has been on the Western Balkans, namely 6 economies that still haven't joined the European Union. We're talking Albania, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Kosovo, Montenegro, North Macedonia, and Serbia. The key activity of the RCC is basically supporting the region's economies fully aligned with the European standards as a precursor to eventual joining the European Union. More specifically, when we talk about research, some of the activities that the RCC has been focusing on in recent years was the assistance to the Western Balkan economies aligned fully with European research era, but also with European education area. And obviously the full association with the ESC's research programs. Currently, we are closely working with Western Balkan economies to enable them to join Horizon Europe as the new flagship research program of the European Union, but also working closely with regards to European research area. In previous years, one of the activities that the RCC really aimed at was enabling mobility of researchers in the region. Not only research, but professionals, but let me focus on researchers here. Among others, we also supported activities related to this particular action, Curie, Erasmus Plus. We also assisted officers, Euro access officers in the Western Balkans build capacities. We provided a platform for them to network in the region. Since 2016, the participation of Western Balkan researchers in Curie increased significantly, I believe around 50%. However, there's still lots of room for new researchers to join the program and make the most of it in the future. As for the RCC, we stand on disposal to all researchers, research organizations, and policymakers with whom we closely cooperate to extend this cooperation even further. And we as the RCC will be happy to provide a platform for researchers. This is something I can say a bit more later, to advance in their scientific careers in the future. I believe this would be enough for the start. I have 3 minutes that have just lapsed.
Well, Sinisha, it's definitely it's a fantastic intro, and I'm sure a lot of people have heard about the RCC, and we can definitely get into a bit more detail as we look into the synergies with MSCA. But thank you for this first intro. Judith, could you please tell us more about COST?
Yes, very happy to do so. Good morning, everyone. My name is Judith Litjens. I am a policy officer at the COST Association. Very happy to be here today and to give you some more information about our program. COST stands for European Cooperation in Science and Technology. We're an EU-funded program that enables researchers to set up interdisciplinary research networks in Europe and beyond. These research networks are called COST Actions and are driven by excellence. We also place particular emphasis on the inclusion of younger researchers and also the inclusion of inclusiveness target countries, as we call them. And these are basically the widening countries in Horizon 2020 and include 5 of the Western Balkan countries. So what are really the key features of COST Actions? This is what we fund. First of all, it's important to highlight that we apply a bottom-up approach. So that means that COST Actions are completely researcher-driven. They're open to all fields of science and technology and open to all types of stakeholders. So not just researchers, but also businesses, SMEs, end users, policymakers. We have a wide variety of stakeholders participating in our actions. It's also important to mention that we fund the networking of research activities, so not research itself. Several networking tools are available for every COST Actions, including meetings, workshops, training schools, short-term scientific missions, dissemination tools, and conference grants. And since the beginning of Horizon 2020, 1/5 of the networking activities carried out by individuals from the Western Balkan region have been addressing the mobility schemes, such as the short-term scientific missions, which I'll go back to later, as well as the training schools. And it adds up to more than 1,200 training schools and around 730 short-term scientific mission participations completed, which is an impressive number. And finally, just a bit of information on how can you join a COST action. Researchers and innovators from COST member countries, which include, again, 5 of the Western Balkan countries, can propose and join a running COST action. Anyone can join a running COST action in the first 3 years of its lifetime, so they're completely open in nature. And the scientific communities of all the Western Balkan countries are active beneficiaries of COST actions. So all Western Balkan countries are full members of COST, included in the inclusiveness target countries that I mentioned earlier, except for Kosovo, which is under COST considered a near neighbor country. But in terms of reimbursement, I should highlight that doesn't make a difference. All Western Balkan countries are fully eligible to be reimbursed under COST actions. So that's important to say here. And then finally, some encouraging statistics. Between 2014 and 2019, the number of individual researchers from the Western Balkan participating in the COST program has more than doubled, from 1,237 in 2014 to 2,703 in 2019. And also interesting to note here is that the participation from women based in the Western Balkans has more than doubled from female researchers. During the same period, we've also witnessed a strong rise in the number of leadership positions held by researchers based in the Western Balkans, from just below 30 in 2014 to almost 90 in 2019. So this is what I'd like to end with this question.
Thank you, Judith. And let's see, challenge accepted for the next 5 years to even double the numbers, even going further from where we are. Radeka, could you tell us a bit more? What is it that the MSCA Western Balkans chapter does?
Okay, thank you, Raluca, and good morning to everyone. So my name is Radeka Krasmanović-Viffen. I'm a former Maria Skłodowska-Curie Individual Fellow in Physics and the founding chair of the Western Balkan chapter of the Marie Curie Alumni Association. As a highly mobile researcher, I have worked and studied in 5 different countries in Europe. And last year, after I finished my IF, I came back home to Montenegro after almost 20 years of being away. Today, I'm the assistant director of the Food Hub Center of Excellence at the University of Banja Gorica. Briefly, the Western Balkan chapter is one of the 34 chapters of the Marie Curie Alumni Association that are organized in different geographic regions. You can see from the slide details about the Marie Curie Alumni Association. It's a big international non-for-profit association that is established in 2014, and today we have over 18,000 members. All of them are either current or former beneficiaries of Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions from all around the world. And the main focus of the MSCA is to promote career development, to offer networking, encourage collaboration, and enhance science policy, but also to provide a forum for debate for researchers and citizens. As for the Western Balkan chapter, it is created in 2019, and the idea came from Dalibor Darljeca, the NCP from Bosnia and Herzegovina, and myself. And we wanted to organize this chapter to be a forum for interaction between MSCA members originating from this part of the world or staying here for their MSCA fellowships. The main role of the Western Balkan chapter is to build bridges in the region where collaboration really doesn't exist, or it's not easy to establish. And we are trying to build trust and to advocate for dialogue, for the free exchange of ideas and the cross-border collaboration. And in that sense, our members are real ambassadors, not just for the Maria Skłodowska-Curie actions as an excellent EU-funded program, but also for EU values in both research and society. And what exactly do we do in our chapter? We use every opportunity to organize promotional MSCA events in the region and the best practice events with our members when they talk about their own experiences. Also, we promote the success of our members on our platform and also on our Twitter account. And we also organize some career development workshops or schools. And just to The last thing I want to mention, last week, the Western Balkan chapter has received an MSCA award for the best European chapter for 2020. And I'm very proud and honored for that recognition. And I'm very grateful to the Western Balkan chapter board members and to all our 103 members. So this just encourages to that we are on the right path and that we can make a difference.
Thank you so much, Radenka. And you are absolutely on the right path, and congratulations for the fantastic acknowledgement that you've received. I'm sure you have tons and tons of work, so this is only going to make you even more ambitious to be even busier than you have been so far. Going further to Luke. Luke, can you tell us a bit more about the work of the European Institute of Technology?
Yes, Raluca, thank you very much, and good morning to everybody. I cannot not start by echoing my colleagues' congratulations for an excellently organized event, and thanks for the opportunity to be here. So yeah, my name is Luke Corvaia. I'm speaking to you from the beautiful city of Budapest. It's a bit gray here today, but still quite warm, and spring seems to be around the corner. So everybody's feeling very positive here, despite the general situation. So I'm a strategy officer at the European Institute of Innovation and Technology, or as we're better known, the EIT. It's a bit of a challenge for me to explain to you exactly what we do in 3 minutes, because we are involved in quite a few activities, but I will do my very best. So we were set up in 2008 as an independent body of the European Union with the specific task of boosting Europe's ability to innovate. We do this in quite a unique way by bringing together the 3 sides of the so-called knowledge triangle: business, education, and research. Concretely, we do this through supporting and setting up of dynamic, long-term, pan-European partnerships, which we call knowledge and innovation communities, or as they're better known, KICs. Within each of these partnerships, leading companies, research labs, and higher education institutions, primarily universities, are brought together in order to create an environment which allows people to ideate and innovate. Each of these is dedicated to tackling some of the greatest societal challenges facing Europe and the world today, from sustainable energy to healthy living and food. So each of our KICs are independent. We are an integral part of the Horizon 2020 and Horizon Europe now, but they are fully bottom up. So we give the KICs strategic direction, but it is through the innovate and knows best principle that we operate. Therefore, each of them undertakes slightly different activities depending on the needs of the societal challenge they are trying to tackle. However, each of them offers a wide range of innovation and entrepreneurship activities, either education courses that combine both the technical entrepreneurship skills, tailored business support and acceleration services, as well as the funding of innovation-driven research projects. Today, a little bit over 10 years since we were established, we are Europe's, if not the world's, largest innovation network with over 2,000 partners. In a nutshell, just to conclude, I can say that what we do is that we bring new ideas and solutions to the market. We turn students into entrepreneurs, and most importantly, we deliver innovation.
Thank you so much, Luke. And definitely, research and innovation are the bedrock of creating positive legacies and a resilient future. So it's a very, very important work that you do in developing the KICs. Last but not the least, I wanted to ask Betty if she could give us more information on the work that she does and the work that Enterprise Europe Network does in Macedonia.
Thank you, Raluca. Good morning to everybody. My name is Betty Kostadinovska-Dimitrovska. I work at St. Cyril and Methodius University in Skopje. I would like to send you warm greetings from all my colleagues from St. Cyril and Methodius University in Skopje, and of course from the Enterprise Europe Network. Let me give you some details about the Enterprise Europe Network, its work, and how it can help research organizations and universities in finding appropriate partner for collaborative research projects. Enterprise Europe Network is the world's largest support network for small and medium enterprises that are experienced and would like to expand internationally. The Enterprise Europe Network is launched in 2008 by the European Commission, and at the moment it is co-financed under the COSME and Horizon 2020 programs. The Enterprise Europe Network combines the previous Euro-Info centers and innovation relay centers that were eligible before 2008. The Enterprise Europe Network is now active in more than 60 countries worldwide. It is active in the European Union, the countries that are acceding to European Union, in all Western Balkan countries, and in other countries above Europe, and brings together 3,000 experts from more than 600 member organizations. Member organizations of Enterprise Europe Network can be chambers of commerce, universities, innovation support organizations, technology poles, or regional development organizations. The Enterprise Europe Network aim is to help businesses grow and innovate internationally. Actually, teams of network experts in each member organizations has set up its branch offices of Enterprise Europe Network that offer personalized services to SMEs and to universities, to research organizations. They know actually the local business environment and also offer partnership opportunities for companies and for research organizations for business opportunities worldwide. The network can also target approach aimed specifically at the business sector. The network advisors cover all business sectors, from intelligent energy to agriculture, or from, for instance, from agro-food to healthcare. In each country, you can find the Enterprise Europe Network offices that can help you find the right international partner. Also, Enterprise Europe Network services are targeted not only SMEs, but also the research organizations and universities. And this is how the collaboration between the Enterprise Europe Network and Maria Skłodowska-Curie actions are connected. And I will also provide you with this information further on. The network offers advisory services and innovation support services. I will speak about this connection with the Maria Skłodowska-Curie actions in the next questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Betty, you also covered some of the three pillars that Luke had mentioned as the key factors for innovation, the business, education, and research, and it definitely come enhance the business side of things into getting this further strengthened. Thank you all for your intro, and you absolutely, all of you highlighted collaboration and very much cooperation and ensuring various synergies across a lot of different fields as the baseline of how your organizations operate. So I wanted to go a bit more in depth and ask you, how is it that you see these synergies with the Maria Skłodowska-Curie Actions Program? Sinisha, could you take a stab at answering how you see this from RCC perspective?
Yeah, thank you, Raluca. I'm happy to hear that some of the colleagues in the previous speeches mentioned cooperation at the regional level. We as the RCC see ourselves as a kind of a hub, kind of gatekeepers for regional cooperation here in the Western Balkans, and we are quite happy to assist all your efforts in the region to reach out to potential participants, including Maria Skłodowska-Curie. We are going to have a very strong emphasis in the next 4 years on networking in the Western Balkans, various stakeholders. To give you an illustration, late last year, we established the network of open access research infrastructures that will enable mobility of researchers, including Maria Skłodowska-Curie. We have 21 research infrastructures involved, but we hope to have more this year. We are also preparing, actually, in 2 weeks, the launch of Women in STEM network that will also include some of the participants in this session here. Actually, Radenka, you may have received in the meantime an invitation to join the network of Women in STEM. since you have this background and you are quite vocal in this field. Please have a look in your email later on. This is exclusive.
No pressure for Radenka to join now. We're all witnesses. She needs to go.
We're just preparing a meeting next week and then the official launch a bit later. But as Luke also mentioned, cooperation extending to the Western Balkans is something that is very interesting to them, which is also interesting to us. And that's why we are going to join forces with the EIT. We are specifically working on with some of the KICs, Climate KIC, for example, KIC manufacturing, KIC digital, etc., to bring this potential closer to the Western Balkans. We also want to extend cooperation further with Eureka and obviously COST. I've been in touch with some colleagues from COST, not Judith in particular, but Kata, I've been in touch with her for quite a few times. And last but not least, the European Enterprise Network that we have the representative here. So basically the ICC wants to create a platform for researchers, research organizations, but also businesses, industry representatives to join forces and start working together. The key activity of our common regional market action plan until 2024 that I can say a few words a bit later about is on creating a robust and very dynamic innovation ecosystem in the Western Balkans. So we see all of you basically as active participants and as active contributors to developing socioeconomic sort of landscape in the Western Balkans, in particular having in mind the COVID consequences that we are still about to face in the near future. So the ICC and I specifically stand on your disposal openly, so feel free to reach out. That goes for the participants and the listeners of this session. I will be quite happy to assist all your efforts in mobilizing additional researchers to join MSCA, but also other mobility schemes available out there.
Thank you, Sinisha, and thanks for highlighting not only the synergies with the MSCA, but also with basically all of the networks that are present here and that carry out activities in the Western Balkans. And that's true. This cross-field and cross-objective collaboration is essential. Judith, how about COST? What synergies have you already considered with MSCA or considering in the future?
Yes, thank you, Raluca. I'd like to start by specifically mentioning the role of COST as a pre-portal to other EU funding schemes through its established networks, spin-off proposals submitted to other parts of Horizon 2020, because we are part of Horizon 2020, the COST program. They have a success rate of 37%, which is more than 3 times as high as the average Horizon 2020 success rate. I think it's worthwhile mentioning that here, because it really shows there's a clear benefit for participating in COST actions where you can build your network, which you can then use and expand for Horizon 2020 applications. And I'd also like to say that a notable 39% of proposals, of spin-off proposals to Horizon 2020 involved partners from inclusiveness target countries, which again include the Western Balkan, 5 of the Western Balkan countries. So COST as a pre-portal for follow-up European funding for research and innovation is an important message I'd like to convey here today, especially to applicants especially as applicants from MSCA schemes greatly benefit from being part of a well-established European network offered by COST Actions, which they can exploit further when applying to other EU funding schemes such as MSCA. I think the most important or the most obvious overlap perhaps between COST and the MSCA schemes is the one between the COST short-term scientific mission that I mentioned earlier, one of our networking tools, and the RISE Research and Innovation Staff Exchange Scheme, which will be staff exchanges under Horizon Europe for MSCA. The reason why I think there's quite a lot of overlap is between COST STSMs, as we call them, the short-term scientific missions. They fund exchange visits for the benefit of young researchers and PhD students for a minimum of 5 days, but the average STSM lasts about 3 months. And there's a grant available of €3,500 for mobility for the researchers that travel and carry out research in another institution in another country. The idea is that the SDSM participants learn new expertise and techniques, and thereby helping young researchers progress in their career, as well as sharing know-how between more and less research-intensive countries. So career and skills development is obviously also a key feature of the RISE scheme, which is why I think it could be beneficial to promote both schemes in both directions. So especially for those RISE participants or past participants, if you've participated in RISE in the past and you're here today, please do get in touch. I'd like to reiterate Sunisha's message that I'd be very happy to explain this further in a networking session. Thank you.
Judith, thank you so much. Radenka, how about the MSCA? What synergies and what support is it that you can provide for researchers that would like to apply and be part of MSCA program?
Yeah, sure. Raluca, thank you. I'd like to mention a couple of things that we've done so far, and maybe one thing that is coming up soon. So first, the chapter supports strongly participation of our members in the European Researchers' Night. So we want them to be involved. And for example, last year I participated in a Montenegrin event, and 2 years ago we supported 2 of our members to go to Sarajevo and do outreach to the public and talk about their experience as ITN young early stage researchers. So that's one thing. The other thing is that we organize webinars, MSCA webinars, and one of those webinars was about ITN projects. So in collaboration with the Novelties ITN team from Belgrade, we ran the webinar, and we wanted to answer frequently asked questions about ITNs and to present ITN from both the perspective of young researchers and the perspective of supervisor who is running the project. And we also want to prepare for the future as a future event, one about IFs, or now it's new postdoctoral fellowships in Horizon Europe. And these webinars are available on the MSCA YouTube channel. The third event I would like to mention is the one we did for the wider outreach and communication of science. We had an entire TV show in Montenegro on the national TV. It was a 40-minute episode of the Istraživač program. It means researcher, where 3 of us from the chapter and the chair of the MSCA, we were talking about Marie Curie actions, in particular IF program, and we presented also MSCA. And this interview was a success, actually, and the program has been repeated so many times in Montenegro, so probably half of the population knows about MSCA and MSCA today. And it is also freely available online. And the last thing I want to mention that later this week, actually on Friday, in collaboration with the universities in Montenegro and with the financial support of the Montenegrin government, we are hosting a 5-day online MSCA school from research to innovation for early stage researchers in Montenegro, who will be introduced to the 21st century research trends and research culture. So the topics range from leadership and entrepreneurship for academics to open science and responsible research concepts. And also, what is important, we will have 2 workshops about writing MSCA proposals in Horizon Europe.
Thank you so much, Radenka, and good luck for Friday. I honestly wish I could join you, but
5 days.
5 days. Okay,
Yes.
okay. It's definitely a lot to do, and it's a great way to build also the other parts, the soft skills required within greater research related work. Luc, how about the European Institute of Innovation and Technology? What are your current synergies or your future plans with MSCA?
Yes, thank you, Raluca. This is a very pertinent question, actually. So we see immense potential in terms of synergies between us and the Marie Slowska reactions, particularly in terms of supporting MSCA fellows and alumni in their entrepreneurial journey. So helping MSCA researchers and alumni in turning their best ideas, their research results into products and services which will then create jobs and sustainable and economic growth, which will allow better opportunities for all. So concretely, we have a very substantial amount of resources available for Marie Skłodowska fellows and alumni. These include thematic degrees and non-degree courses, training, online sessions, all of which are aimed at helping them improve their entrepreneurship skills and, of course, of making best use of our core activities. So for those which are even more advanced in their ideas, they can, of course, then tap into the EIT's innovation project support and also our business creation and acceleration support. All of these resources are either available on the KICS websites or also, particularly in terms of education offerings, on established portals such as Future Learn. I'd also like to touch briefly upon, first and foremost, what Sinica mentioned. Of course, I can only confirm what he said, that we are working closely together. I will not go into depth on that because he has already very clearly elaborated on that point. But we also work very closely, particularly our own alumni community works very closely with the MSCA. For example, on the 6th of March, if my memory serves me well, the EIT alumni organized a dedicated session during the MSCA annual conference in which we presented how the EIT community can help support MSCA individuals in their entrepreneurship journey, as I mentioned. Even today, actually, later this afternoon, EIT Health with the MSCA will be organizing a similar event with a similar team. How can the EIT support you as a researcher in taking forward your idea and turning it into a commercial product or service? There are other events. I'm not going to go through all of them. I've been given a list by my colleagues, but I think it is very clear that the potential for synergies is there. Synergies are actually going on now. Of course, more can be done. And we're very much looking forward to work both with the Marie Slowska Reactions colleagues and also with the people around this room to make those happen over the next years.
Thank you so much, Luke. And I'm certain you had so much more to say from the list that you received, and indeed it's difficult to do that in just 3 minutes. But it's a fantastic introduction for anybody that is interested into taking these communities sort of further and the sort of work further. And I love what you said, taking ideas to commercial development. It's very often that we look a lot at the R, but we really want to make the D also big. So within R&D, that second part of the work is essential, and it drives or gets to implement all of the research work further. Betty, I wanted to ask you for the Enterprise Europe network, and perhaps it's even a perfect continuation on the points that Luke was also making. What synergies is it that you've managed to build with Marie Skłodowska Curie actions, or any future plans you could share with us?
Yes, thank you, Raluca. The Enterprise Europe network aim is actually to help businesses grow and innovate internationally. Enterprise Europe network manages Europe's biggest online database of partnership opportunities. Actually, it is called Partnership Opportunity Database that contains all offers and requests from business, technology, and research profiles from companies or research organizations and universities. With the partnership opportunity that Enterprise Europe Network provides to its clients, and with the advisory services that it also provides to the clients, it helps the clients to benefit from strengthened science and industry linkages. This is very important, to connect the science and industry. And in this regards, it is of most important the help for participation in collaborative research projects. So Enterprise Europe Network can help its clients to find international partner to jointly apply for a call in research projects. This is how Enterprise Europe Network actually is connected with Maria Skłodowska-Curie actions. I will now provide you some examples that I have selected from the Partnership Opportunity Database from Enterprise Europe Network, just to have imagination of how this actually works in the field. This is the first example. A university research group specialized in intelligent mobile robotics and computer vision is looking for 2 experienced researchers for the Maria Skłodowska-Curie Action Individual Fellowship Call. From this example, we can see that a university research group has asked Enterprise Europe Network to help them find 2 experienced researchers for this specific call for the Maria Skłodowska-Curie Action. And the second example is a consortium formed by several leading university research teams requires industrial partners whose main activity is focused in the field of electrochemistry that might be willing to jointly participate in an application for European joint doctorate call under Maria Skłodowska-Curie Action. This second example is actually shown how a university research group has asked Enterprise Europe Network to help them find industrial partners, companies, to jointly apply for a call. These are some of examples of how actually Enterprise Europe Network can help potential applicants or already granted institutions to find international partner to jointly apply for a call or to find international individual researchers. This is all, you can find it in the Partnership Opportunity Database, which is also published and is visible for everyone, and it is available for the research experts, actually Enterprise Europe Network advisors, to quickly respond to them. Whenever we have a call from a company or from a researcher that they need to find international partner, we as Enterprise Europe Network advisors can help you find this international partner. In this sense, Enterprise Europe Network provides individual assistance to clients in finding appropriate European program and call for proposals, and also for search in international partners. Enterprise Europe Network can actually facilitate the process of access to finance of the local SMEs or research organizations, universities, to jointly apply for a European research calls for proposals and programs such as Horizon 2020 at the moment, or Horizon Europe, of course, Eureka, Eurostars, or Erasmus+. So the offices in each country are available for you to contact them to help you find international partner for jointly applying in a call for proposals and for jointly making a research program and project. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Betty, and absolutely very clear and definitely very, very useful. I wanted to ask you now, and you've all touched upon this through both your activities, your general activities, as well as your cooperation with the Maria Skłodowska-Curie actions, but can you give me even some more examples of what is it that your organization does to contribute to the research and innovation framework within the Western Balkans region? So having a bit of a wider focus there. Could we start with you, Sinisha?
Yeah, thank you. The RCC's role is primarily to facilitate processes going on in the Western Balkans, and obviously create the platforms or the grounds for cooperation to flourish. In that sense, recently we, alongside with our partners, CEFTA, regional organization in charge of trade, and Western Balkan 6 KIF, which is Chamber Investment Forum, uniting 6 chambers of commerce from 6 Western Balkan economies. We launched what we call the Common Regional Market Action Plan 2021-2024. It's quite a comprehensive document, but let me focus on industry and innovation area that I'm in charge of, specifically innovation and research. The idea here is to finally bring research to the forefront and expose it to industries and to businesses to allow the growth of our economies, creation of new jobs, etc. in those fields that the region decided that we should focus on, mainly automotive industry, light manufacturing, metal processing, agri-food, creative industries, and something that is quite new, which is green and circular economy. So the idea here is really to assist the region create this regional innovation ecosystem to support the growth of SMEs, but also startups, in particular those schemes that bring innovative solutions to the market. Having this in mind, we are going to work on launching a regional innovation fund aiming at early stage innovation SMEs in the region. We hope to receive some assistance from some of the organizations present in this panel. Something that could be very relevant to Maria Sklodowska Key Reactions is a regional diaspora knowledge transfer initiative. This is the first time that this has been discussed at the regional level. The idea really is to tap into enormous potential of our diaspora, mainly living in the Western Europe. As you know, unfortunately, many of our skilled and educated individuals have left the region in recent years. So we want to somehow get in touch with them and see how we can establish cooperation so they can bring back or give back to today countries of origin or the region as such. Some of the Maria Sklodowska Key Reactions or fellows could be the primary target for this initiative. We also want to assist networking of digital innovation hubs in the Western Balkans to support the growth of technology transfer offices. So all these, in a way, add to this very complex mosaic of innovation ecosystem in the Western Balkans. We are at a very early stage at this moment. The action plan just kick-started a couple of months ago, and we have been in very close contact with basically all organizations present in this panel, including Eureka and some other organizations that have operations in the region. We hope to bring all these stakeholders at the table to ensure that we have a synchronized approach. We identify synergies and we prevent overlaps or duplication of efforts that has been the case in many times in the future. So overall, the role of the RCC is to assist development of the regional economies, and we are quite happy to extend this cooperation not only with organizations present here, but with all others who sincerely wish to contribute to the economic development of the Western Balkans.
Thank you so much, Siniša, and you're absolutely right. Sort of giving back and also getting a lot of this input in the region is extremely important, and I'm sure Radika will also touch upon that a bit later. Judith, how about the cost? What is it that cost? How is it that cost supports the development of research and innovation in the region?
Yes, this is indeed an important priority for us. We have an excellence and inclusiveness policy in place, which places particular emphasis on increasing ITC participation. So again, participation of the inclusiveness target countries, the widening countries under Horizon 2020, and by extension, increasing the Western Balkan participation in cost actions. And in order to make that happen, we have put in place certain measures, such as the requirement that at least 50% of the main proposers of a cost action should be based in an inclusiveness target country. That's an important eligibility criteria. But there's also a requirement in place that in all actions, at least one of the leadership positions must be reserved for a representative from an ITC. So that means a chair position or a vice chair, an STSM coordinator or science communication manager, for example. One of those positions must be reserved for a representative from an inclusiveness target country. Another way in which we try to increase ITC participation in cost action, so also participation of the Western Balkans, is by organizing targeted cost info days for cost members and also awareness days for near neighbor countries, including Kosovo, with the purpose of informing and raising awareness on the opportunities that are offered by the cost program. And just to give you an example, in the last few years, we have organized these info days in Montenegro, but also Serbia, Albania, and Kosovo. And we also recently had an awareness day just two weeks ago, I think, which was specifically aimed at near neighbor countries, which includes Kosovo, and was very well attended. And this is still possible to watch these information sessions on our website because they were recorded. And finally, we fund ITC conference grants, as they're called. So that means that we provide specific grants for inclusiveness target country researchers, and in particular, their PhD students and young researchers, who would like to attend international conferences that are not organized by the cost action. So there's specific funding available for this. And finally, I'd like to say that in November last year, COST produced a newsletter that was specifically dedicated to Western Balkan participation in cost actions. The newsletter is available on our website. It places cost action participants from the Western Balkan region in the spotlight and highlights their success stories. And listening to the short video interviews with researchers who talk about their involvement in cost actions, I think it's very clear that they appreciate the networking with researchers from across the world. This is highlighted very often, but also establishing professional relationships that last beyond the lifetime of the action and having the opportunity to learn new skills or techniques in more research-intensive countries via COST's short-term scientific missions, for example, that I mentioned earlier, or the COST training schools, and learn new skills that they can bring back home. So it's worthwhile having a look at the newsletter and also perhaps watch a recorded session of a cost info day if you're interested.
Thank you so much, Judith, and definitely very useful. And we encourage everyone to go visit your website to get more info around that. Radenka, you've already touched upon this. Is there anything else that you could highlight within the work that you do to support RNI development in the region?
Thank you, Raluca. I can now maybe talk about the 3 pillars of the Western Balkan chapter and how I see the whole role of the Western Balkan chapter and what we can do in the Western Balkans. So first, I would like to call it modeling. And what I mean by this, our members can act as role models in the region. They can promote different ways of doing science. They can bring best practice, new ideas and approaches from Europe that perhaps are not common in the region. And I think this is a very useful and important thing that we can do as individuals. The second point is about bridging, because often we have researchers in the region that have, if you like, two foots in both camps. So they are researchers based in the Western Balkan, but they have established good connections with the institutions in Europe, where they had their fellowship, for example, and they can use their network to bridge the gap in terms of research and innovation that might exist in their institution through a new collaboration. So they can act as a link between two institutions that otherwise wouldn't exist. So again, it's at the individual level. And the third thing I would like to mention is connecting. So connecting not only our members and researchers in the Western Balkans, but all stakeholders, as Sinisha mentioned. I think we should all be together in this, all other networks that are presented here, and also NCPs and maybe ministries of science in the region. And we should talk about things that are important to researchers, and we should talk about approaches to things like responsible research and innovation, academic fairness, open science, science diplomacy, and so on. And in doing all of that, I think we are performing quite an important role in trying to change the research culture and the academic culture in the region.
Thank you so much, Radenka, and very, very clear. How about the European Institute of Innovation and Technology? How does the Western Balkans R&I agenda look from your side?
Yes, thank you, Raluca. I can actually echo many of the points my colleague said. Maybe I will just start by saying what we have been doing so far. So our engagement with the Western Balkans has been steadily increasing over the past years. We currently run 5 hubs. These are place-based offices across the Western Balkans region. In terms of funding, between 2014 and 2019, the EIT community has invested over 800,000 euros in the Western Balkans, money which goes to supporting local partner organizations working on innovation projects. We are very, very confident that this level of engagement will now maybe even dramatically increase between the 2021 and 2027 programming period. We will be bolstering our engagement with the Western Balkans as a matter of priority. We will do this partially through what we call the EIT Regional Innovation Scheme. We are part of the EU framework program, so excellence is our key selection criteria. However, the Regional Innovation Scheme, or as we call it, RIS, allows us a dedicated program to boost the innovation potential of eligible countries and also engage partners for them directly within our community. We also will be offering something new, a new initiative to support higher education institutions to build their entrepreneurial and innovation capacity. Actually, the first pilot call under this new initiative was launched this morning. Please do visit the EIT website if you are interested. Incidentally, this is, I believe, the very first call to be issued under Horizon Europe as a whole. So we're very, very proud to be leading the way, if you wish. However, I want to highlight that the EIT community is far from just being another funding mechanism within the Western Balkans. Our real added value lies in offering direct access to our, as I said, very large pan-European network to the Western Balkan students, researchers, and entrepreneurs. We also do not, Syriza highlighted the issue of brain drain. We also do not contribute to brain drain. Very much on the contrary, we keep talent in the region and we allow researchers, entrepreneurs, and students to grow their talent within the region, yet by accessing our network. The very last point I want to mention, I know I'm running out of time, is that one initiative which we'll be launching this year and we hope to run over the next years is something we call a cross-KIC initiative. This is an initiative in which all KICs or most KICs will be participating. We are working closely with the RCC on this. We will be deepening our ties in the Western Balkans and focusing particularly on the circular economy. We're also looking at the potential of having one hub, one office, which will basically run all our operations within the area for all KICs in a coordinated manner. So I think the future is very, very bright for the EIT and the Western Balkans, and we're very much looking forward to work also with colleagues to bring the benefits which are desired by the region and its citizens.
Thank you so much, Luke. You've had a very busy morning, haven't you? Congrats for the launch, and definitely great call for everyone here at our event to come join and check it out and join the call. Betty, can you tell us from Enterprise Europe Network, you have highlighted really well the collaboration and the commercial elements and the collaboration with the industry, right, businesses part around there. Can you tell us more about what is it that you do to support the R&I development in Western Balkans?
Yes, thank you, Raluca. I would like to highlight at first that the Enterprise Europe Network is managed by the Executive Agency for Small and Medium Enterprises from the European Commission. And Enterprise Europe Network is, as I already said, active in more than 60 countries worldwide. Enterprise Europe Network is active also in the Western Balkan countries on equal basis as all European countries. each Western Balkan country has established its network branch offices within the country, thus ensuring the coherence with the Enterprise Europe network activities. I can confirm that we from the Western Balkan has established already a strong regional cooperation among our countries in order to facilitate the process of providing these services from the Enterprise Europe network, and at the same time contributing to the research and innovation development on local and regional level. All services that Enterprise Europe network are provided to SMEs or to research organizations, universities, are also available in all Western Balkan countries, bringing the European dimension. Among all other services, Enterprise Europe network provides services for clients to participate in collaborative research projects. And in this regard, the Enterprise Europe network advisory services and partnering opportunities are extremely valuable, including the Horizon 2020, actually Horizon Europe services, in supporting innovation and research development within the Western Balkan countries. While SMEs remain the main target audience of the Enterprise Europe network, I can say that the Enterprise Europe network also targets other organizations, such as universities, research organizations, that have strong capacity to mobilize SME for internationalization, support innovation and research, or facilitate the process of access to finance on local and regional level. In this regard, all the services that I also previously mentioned for finding international partner to jointly apply for a call for Maria Skłodowska-Curie reactions and for other calls from the Horizon Europe program in the future are to benefit from these services that are provided from Enterprise Europe network to the Western Balkan countries and contributing to the research and innovation. Under the research cooperation agreements that are already established between two companies or between a company and a research organization, between a university and other university, these are called research cooperation agreements that are facilitating with the support of Enterprise Europe network. Actually, Enterprise Europe network helps its clients to jointly apply under these calls and Maria Skłodowska-Curie actions, and vice versa. A research organization or university can ask for Enterprise Europe network to help them find appropriate partner to jointly apply for these calls. So whenever you need an international partner for a joint call, or you need a researcher, you can ask Enterprise Europe network to help you. Actually, Enterprise Europe network is available in all Western Balkan countries. It is visible under its own logo, and you can ask the network offices and the research advisors to help you find appropriate partner and jointly apply in a call. In this sense, we contribute to the research and innovation. The satisfaction level of the clients, I can confirm that is a very big from Enterprise Europe network. We have helped many clients, we call them clients, actually they are companies, research organizations, universities, that have find appropriate partner, and the impact actually they got from these collaborative research projects is very big in the Western Balkan countries as well. So Enterprise Europe network is here to help you. You can contact us and we will provide you with assistance. We will provide you with support actions, with solution-driven activities that we offer to our clients. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Betty, and a very, very clear shout out to anybody that is looking for a partner, whether it's business or research. Definitely, please reach out to Enterprise Europe Network. It's an incredibly valuable advice, I bet, for a lot of our attendees. Thank you. I confirm I don't have any other questions for you. However, I'd like to also render some conversations that have been taking place whilst you're making the presentations on the chat. I have, Radenka, a very beautiful message for you from Sohail Sarang, who has highlighted excuse me, that he's actually looking forward to attending the online MCA Spring School in Montenegro. So you definitely have at least one member of the audience who will join you there in the spring. I bet there are many more. It's just that they didn't want to say, but there is a lot of fantastic feeling and positivity around there, I'm certain. And already I saw that two partners have already gotten in touch. And I'm so sorry because I think I will tarnish your name, but allow me to give it a try. Nekshmai Gamberi or Kamberi from Kosovo has been also approached by or received a confirmation from Slovenia on possible joint partnership. So please keep on sharing this sort of feedback. As you can see, any question thrown out there will definitely get somebody around to answer in this community. And actually, Nekshmaye, again, apologies, had a question that he wanted to ask either you, Radenka, or you, Luke, or to anybody else that would like to get any other feedback. The question was whether there is a possibility for one training to be held in Kosovo in order to help them understand more and more about cooperation on joint projects between 2 or 3 countries. And there he was specifically mentioning a research project of biodiversity.
Okay, thank you for the question. So we didn't plan anything for Kosovo because currently we don't have any MCA member there. And that's our first connection, our members. So, but if we get in touch with some other stakeholders, then we can think about organizing some online school, definitely.
Okay, great.
Yes, Ruka, I can also say a few words here. So from 2021, on the Horizon Europe, the EIT is expected to have its own NCP network. We're very much excited about this and looking forward to it. It's something we did not have under Horizon 2020. Kosovo, which is expected to be an associated country, will of course also have its NCP. We will be working closely with all NCPs, but also with Kosovo in order to organize awareness raising and other technical trainings over the next months. We are also in preliminary contact with the Kosovo government in order to establish contact and cooperation also at the national level. So I cannot unfortunately give you a particular date, but I can make a commitment that this is something we will be looking into and doing over the next months.
That sounds great. Thank you so much. And last question from Gordana Vlahovic to Sinisha. How does RCC reach out to universities and research institutes in the Western Balkans region? Through the ministries? And then she was mentioning that she doesn't think that a lot of other institutions in the region are so well informed. So how do you reach out to them and how can we help this raising awareness grow much more?
Thank you. This is an extremely pertinent question. So far, we worked through our working groups. One of them was on research and innovation, which includes representatives of line ministries, basically in charge of science, higher education, innovation, etc. We also have a working group on open science. However, we are now aiming to establish new working groups that will more closely cooperate with universities and more directly with universities as well. So you can hope to receive some of the feedback from us in the near future. We recently established a database of all rectors' offices contacts from universities around the region, mainly those in charge of international cooperation, and we want to reach out that way just to allow you to stay in the loop on what's going on regionally, and hopefully, thanks to these contacts, you will be able to benefit from what we are aiming to do in the future. In particular, having in mind what my colleagues have mentioned about other initiatives that are strongly now pushing their presence in the region, like the EIT, we want to spread the word that this is existing somewhere around, that initiatives are rolling or are being prepared to be rolled out soon, so as to keep the universities and institutes informed about some opportunities that they may embark on.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Sinisha. And also for either later today or tomorrow, please definitely get in touch. You can see these comments on the chat. And if anybody else has various inputs, I'm sure they're incredibly valuable. Great. With no further ado, I'd like to give the floor to Radenka for a couple of closing words and a closing message.
Okay, thank you, Raluca. Just as a final thought that I think we can probably see from everything that panel members have said so far. So as a panel, we all strongly believe that the Balkans will benefit from better science, and that better science can in fact lead to better societies and better opportunities for everyone. We all want to see the Western Balkans doing better. I think we hope to see our region playing an active part in the European research environment through Horizon Europe, and especially through Maria Skłodowska-Curie actions as part of that, but not through a brain drain, which seems to be a traditional pattern in the region, but through brain gain and brain circulation instead. And hopefully, if we can encourage brain gain and brain circulation, then all the society in the region as a whole will benefit. So thank you, Raluca, and thank you all for the nice discussion we had today.
Thank you so much, Radenka, and thank you to Sinisha, Judith, Luke, Betty for this absolutely enlightening session. I'm sure there will be a lot of questions and thinking that will go through the minds of all of the attendees of this conference. So definitely, please don't keep your questions, go out, network, if it's now for today, this session, or these days, or even afterwards. Definitely take this as, let's say, the beginning of a beautiful friendship, as the popular saying goes around. So please definitely take this opportunity. With this, we are concluding the second panel, the second official panel of our context seminar. Just as we conclude, I wanted to thank you for being with us. I will not join you for the rest of the sessions, and I will just leave you in the very, very capable hands of the European Commission and the event organizers that will take you through these fantastic digital and highly interactive 2 days. We are going to take, and I apologize for that, I have eaten, pun intended, a bit from your lunch break. So please come back to the session at 1 p.m. Central Eastern Time. It's you're going to start with very, very important 15 minutes in which the team is going to take you through the sessions, as well as through the tools that you have and they have put at your disposal to make the most of these 2 days. Before I let you go, I know I'm between you and the food that you have prepared in this time, but I wanted to give out a massive shout out to the absolutely brilliant Hawkeye, Andrea Ferro from Padova, Italy, who has found Maria Skłodowska-Curie figurine character. She has been hiding, guess where? In the resources. So whomever has diligently and obsessively trying to download the resources, I guess you've also come across her. So thank you so much for going around, and please do download all of those resources. I hope all the issues have been solved now, as all of these presentations have been uploaded there, and they're fantastic documents that you can download. With no further ado, enjoy the rest of your day. Come back to us at 1 p.m. and thank you all for actually creating a much better world for all of us through research and innovation. Thank you, and good luck with all your work.